It's very hard to say, to use the word optimism in this context, because we've been here so often before. You and I have discussed it so often before at various points along this year. Now in mid to late August, we are here yet again. A possible ceasefire deal. We saw Blinken meeting with Israel's president, Israel's prime minister. Next, he's going to meet with Israel's defense minister within the coming hour. Front and center, the discussion is the ceasefire. Can Washington push this government and really push its prime minister to say yes to this deal? And then they'll deal with the other side and they'll see if they can get Qatar to push Hamas to say yes to this deal. I don't know how much optimism there is, because we've heard from both sides. That's right-wing ministers in the Israeli government. It's Hamas spokespersons outside of the Gaza Strip, and they've both been talking down the possibilities. Last night we heard from Israel's prime minister, who said give and take doesn't mean give and give. There's red lines Israel is drawing, it won't go past them. We've heard from Hamas this morning, who are saying Israel's blocking us. We've agreed to something. Israel's made changes. This isn't an agreement. This isn't the agreement or the deal we agreed to. Nevertheless, neither side has thrown it off entirely, and that's, I guess, what everybody is holding on to, including the US Secretary of State, Antony Blinken. But if you ask me to be optimistic, I don't think I can as a predictor.
And Irris, look, if there is no ceasefire deal agreed, what does that mean for Israel's northern border with Lebanon? Because just within the past 24 hours, we're hearing about more deaths on both sides.
That's right. You know, none of these ceasefire talks have stopped any of the fighting in Gaza or in Lebanon. I tell you the one thing that may have stopped, or may have at least been diffused, and that's the threat of a war with Iran. We have been hearing from people who have dealings with Iranian diplomats that perhaps they're pulling back on their current position, which was an immediate retaliation for the death of the Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh when he was in Tehran, a death attributed to Israel. So perhaps that's one thing that would be different. But we have all those same experts also say that Iran has said to Hezbollah, you're free to go. You know, if you want to have to ramp up the escalation on the northern border, if you want to have a larger war, you're free to do it. That's a very worrying thought, both because of the firepower that Israel has, that Lebanon has, that they have not used. You know, we have seen an escalation, Nadia, but we haven't seen both sides using their full firepower. Is that what Hezbollah is going to take from Iran's message? We don't know, and it's very worrying.